Caro was the author, Robert Moses is the politician. And we found inside the book that Moses has a clear political vision, really shared and common in the 40s of the last century. Probably today it's not acceptable. The best part of the city has to be for the best part of population. And in his mind, the best part of population was the white middle class. So he simply didn't build any public transportation to Long Island. And the bridge that we saw was 2 feet lower than the standard. So no buses can commute on that road, only car. And at that time, the only people that can afford a car was the white middle class. And so at the end of the day, the lecture was, every technological artifact is a displacement of power, is a form of order. Well, AI is like the concrete, is a form of power, is a displacement of order. Algorithm embedded inside the cloud services that run a lot of the things that we are facing on are simple shaping our life, are simple giving us an order, giving us an opinion, an idea. Well, the ethical question is how to make it clear and how to make it compatible with democracy. Because it's a different form of power that could be bigger or stronger than a public power or a state power. And probably we saw it, the power of the tech company, in 2021, when Twitter simple pulled out the most powerful man in the world, the president of the United States. And so, that kind of struggle, I'm not saying if it's good or if it's bad, if they did well or not, but the most powerful man in a state was ruled by a private company in that state. That was unthinkable at that situation. And so, questioning technology, if you ask me, what are you doing today? It's making this kind of question to the decision maker, to the policy making, to the politicians, simple to give them the ability or the possibility to offer an answer to this kind of question.
Uno de los puntos que, como sabes, me interesa es el potencial que tenemos como región. Pero, en esta evolución de la IA, la inteligencia artificial, hay varios retos para nuestra región.
Well, I think that there are a lot of different challenges. The history of Latin America was also a history of an abuse of the West on this wonderful continent. First, we take the resource, then we take the works. Now, we can take the cognitive ability of these people. If we use people to train AI with a lower wage, is a new form of colonialism. We are not anymore interested in sugarcane or in gold or in something else. We are not anymore interested in the masculine power of slavery. Now we are interested in cognitive state. So that could be, I know I'm very provocative saying that, but this is a warning signal, no? It could be a new season of colonialism in which West is coming back to take out something of valuable for the West. The mentality is not so different. And the cognitive help that people with low wages can give to the West could be really precious. And the second thing is, the last half century of the political history of Latin America sometimes show up like there was a not legitimate influence on the single state of other interests outside of the state. Now you don't need to make any infiltration of black ops. You can have a sort of sharp power, so influence in the public sphere through social media, through digital space, with an algorithm that simply is, it never become tired on doing something. You can have the best agent on the field, but he needs to sleep. An algorithm does not need to sleep. So it's the perfect, black op agent to change the public opinion. Then if you look at what happened with when Facebook simple bring universal internet access to two countries, Philippines and Brazil. In Philippines, Duarte, in Brazil, Bolsonaro. So the polarization connected to the algorithmical splicing of a social environment, algorithm that was designed for marketing purpose, is an effect that could be really challenging for Latin America, for South America in general. And then you have to think about jobs. The jobs that are not connected with muscle are the best that the machine can do. So an AI flooding could simply eat the best paid job that are the more cognitive and simple release the lower income jobs. And so also the Porque could be shifted in a different way. So there are a lot of challenges because, in this moment, there are just two giant producers of AI, United States and China. Europe is confident, I don't know if it's safe, but is confident that because it's a huge market, regulating the market is enough to not be too much influenced. I hope it's right, but it's a dangerous call in my perspective.
Esto es muy fuerte y a su vez necesario. Necesitamos unirnos para ser un actor activo y no pasivo en la evolución de la inteligencia artificial.
Absolutely. But this is now the bet that Europeans are doing on themselves. In a divided South America, I don't know if could arise a political defense or if every country has to play its own game and they could be eaten much, much more easily by the two service providers with two really different politics behind. And so it could be challenging. But, tension around the world are rising everywhere. And I think that what we will see in AI field is also, like other field, signed by this rising tension that the global economy is producing among blocks.
¿Es suficiente la ética en la IA?
Yeah, ethics is a soft law. It is a principle that company could apply, try to give to themselves a regulation before someone from outside intervene. You cannot simply say ethics is enough. Ethics is important, is a voice, but it's a voice. So with a voice, I can go deeply inside yourself and touching something really deeply, but it's a voice, you can simply ignore it. And so the dual effect of ethics, the ability to go deep and the fragility to being a voice, has to take care for this really challenging geopolitical situation in which AI can change the equilibrium and relationship around the world.
Un punto de comparación que siempre hablamos fue como en los 60, Corea del Sur y Colombia eran igual, en niveles educativos, PIB. Y hoy Corea es otra historia.
Well, first of all, Korea has a really huge advantage that is between China and Russia that Colombia didn't. And so Korean product can be sold without taxation in United States market. That makes South Korea really wealthy. United States need a place that is friends and wealthy there. It's not only an intuition or some CIO. Now it's much more easy to see the dangers than not the correct answer. So actually, the new layer of artificial intelligence is a middle layer. It's something in the execution of the process that can eat the skill inside the company. So if the innovation is not taking care or being aware that AI can eat the skill inside the company, the know-how, then you rely on the one that give you the services. That is a slavery. It's in that sense Korea fit. Samsung start to simple assemble all the television around the world. At one point, there was the middle layer to have a television. And they start to say, let's ask that does all the television, Samsung television, and they hit the market. And so my personal advice is to be really careful, because innovation could be really wonderful to enhance productivity and to give to someone the ability to challenge a global market and to stay in the global market with a really powerful position. If, only if, you put the innovation with human in the loop. So to enhance human ability, not to surrogate it. Otherwise, the innovation will be the transfer of power, the transfer of knowledge, the margin eater that simple eat all the margin in the production of a company. So that we are facing two kinds of innovation: delegating to AI and digital innovation, or integrating AI and digital innovation to enhance productivity. The way in which a CIO or a company leader will bring innovation to the company is the key feature to give a future or not to give a future to the company. And it's not so easy to be more precise, because it depends on the kind of company we are speaking about. But the model are two. There is not the other way. Or you use technology to make more productive your people, and you bet on people, or you simply start to replace people with technology, and you rely on technology.
Entonces, ¿cuál es la diferencia entre automatización y la innovación con inteligencia artificial?
Yeah. For example, you can imagine to replace the process with a digital or automation process. The innovation, this is not innovation. This is automatization of the process. Innovation happens when you redesign the process. And so digital artificial intelligence plus human beings change the way in which you make the process, making it more fast, reliable, smart, flexible, and things like that. So you can have, for example, let me do this idea. Imagine that you have to iron a shirt, okay? Woman that irons shirt, and you would like to have an innovation in this process. You can imagine to make a robot that is ironing like a human being. Really costly, really slow, really weird. Or you can change the process and having an ironing folding machine that is work like a press, like a printer, for example, that simple ironing and print. And the human being is the one that is fitting things inside the machine. So these are the two models. Taking the process that you have and you would like to change in a digital way, but it's weird, slow, costly, and ineffective, and you rely on technology, or change the process to enhance the way to in the worker who do what he has to do. And then you can apply to everything from beverage production up to car production, up to services, to everything.
Los retos que se presentan con la velocidad de evolución y crecimiento son varios.
Well, we are facing a huge challenge. Every day there is a challenge, a linguistic challenge between a machine that every day it's much more human, and a human beings that every day understand himself as more as a machine. Neuroscience told us that we have a brain circuit. If I have to tell you with a practical example, my little nephew, is interacting much more in a human way with the digital assistant in the smartphone of my brother than not with a little brother that's still not able to speak. And the real problem is, what is the difference between something that is working and someone that exists? If you take a duck and an hair dryer, both have the same shape, the duck and the hair dryer. If I turn